Welcome to the Channel for Grace. Gobind will be live shortly. Book a tarot or astrology reading on our website, channelforgrace.guru, and check out our latest programs and classes. Please give us a share and a like, and we hope you enjoy the broadcast. Welcome to the Channel for Grace. Gobind will be live shortly. Book a tarot or astrology reading on our website, channelforgrace.guru, and check out our latest programs and classes. Please give us a share and a like, and we hope you enjoy the broadcast. Welcome to the Channel for Grace. Gobind will be live shortly. Book a tarot or astrology reading on our website, channelforgrace.guru, and check out our latest programs and classes. Please give us a share and a like, and we hope you enjoy the broadcast. Satnam, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Gobind, and this is your Channel for Grace. Thank you guys so much for being here live, and thank you to those of you that are watching the replay. We got mini readings tonight, and believe it or not, we already have 5 people on the list, and somebody from last week that didn't get a reading because they never showed up to the chat. So literally like 6 if that person decides to come into this and get their reading tonight. So we're like hitting the ground running. I love it. I'm really excited to do these readings. And as usual, you can choose from astrology. You can choose human design. I can even look at your gene keys, the activation sequence, and do a little bit of maneuvering through there and what we see in your gene keys. And obviously, as always, tarot and oracle card reading if that's what you prefer. So here's the list so far. Nancy, if you're here, let us know. That's from last week. So we've got Jeanette is first on the list, then Jude, then Lynette, then Sandra, and then Jessica. That is the order so far that we have. So the list is open if you want to get on it. I am feeling really good tonight. Like, we're going to have some really good ones tonight. So before we hop into the readings, I want to share an awesome announcement that I am really, really excited about. And you guys that are on my email list got the announcement today, but let me share the screen here. So this is the big announcement. We have the new Eagle Star Jewels shop now basically live, and I uploaded. So basically my Etsy shop got a facelift and I uploaded all of the jewelry that I have been working on for literally, it's been months, you guys. Like since November, I've been making these things, and it's just so much going on. I got 2 moon goddess trainings going on, and now finally got to the point where I can, release all this stuff. But check it out. I am so fucking excited. So I've got these new bracelets on there. They're called Bolo bracelets. And they come with different stones, and you can read all about the stones. When you click on each one of them, for example, let's click on this one. This is a pink calcite bracelet, And here gives you the description of the pink calcite. Pink calcite is known for activating the heart chakra. It is a stone of emotional healing, compassion, and joy. Works with the element of fire and water. Pink calcite helps clear past trauma from the emotional body. It helps clear ancestral emotional patterns from our cellular memory. And you can continue on like that, checking all the stuff out. This is the featured items. Dude, I am so excited about these earrings. Holy shit. Okay, so this is the Merkaba rose quartz earrings. And the little Merkaba that's inside, dangling from the center of this sacred geometric shape. So I love how I started working with sacred geometry. There's a little zirconian crystal inside the Merkaba. It's so freaking adorable. So I think I'm going to sell out of that one. So don't wait to get yours. And then here's me wearing them. Ah, yeah. I'm just kidding. So anyways, I'm so freaking excited. You can browse through all this stuff. I got tons of, the cool thing about this is that you can click on collections and then let's pick the serpent head pieces. So I have a whole bunch of new head pieces, and these are both head pieces. They're also necklaces, and they're also bracelets. You can wear them as either one of those. So let's click on this labradorite one. And so this shows you the image of it just, on the crystal. This shows it to you as if you wanted to wear it as a bracelet. It is so freaking adorable. This is if you want to wear it as a necklace. It shows you what it would look like when you wear it. And this is when you wear it on your head. I took a picture of each one of them on my head, so you can see, and they're meditation pieces, so you can use them for meditation and all kinds of stuff. So there's other cool stuff, you guys. Okay, I got little Ankh earrings. Oh my god, these are freaking adorable, and there's different versions of them too. So some of them have like little jewels. But the little Ankh earrings are adorable. And the other thing, we got these cute new necklaces. And I kept one of them because I was like, I want one of these. And they're just amazing. All this stuff is just so freaking adorable. So go check it out. I'm really proud of it, you guys. I'm like so freaking excited that the site looks so good. Let's see, what are the other sacred geometry earrings? We got these flower of life and bee earrings and Amazonite. And we also got these new triangle. And all of the sacred geometry ones are really cool. Oops, we're getting a phone call. That's funny. All of the sacred geometry ones, they explain what the sacred geometry is, and they also, all of them that have crystals on them, they explain what the crystal is and what it's good for and what you use it for. So, dude, fuck yeah. months in the making. So go check it out, and it would be so much fun for you guys to get some of those. So let me say hi to everybody that's in the chat. That's kind of my big announcement for the day. But I do want to say hi to everybody that's here right now. Hello, Nellie and Jess and Tammy. Hello, Jeanette, Lynette. Hello, Jason. Welcome in. Who else is here? Dun, 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 dun. Tammy. I think I said hi. Sandra is here. Welcome. Yeah, those earrings are the best. And I also have the pair of earrings, the Merkaba earrings, and I literally wear them all the time. They're like they're not like huge. You could wear them. It's amazing. Yeah, it is crazy. Hello, Wendy. Welcome in. Thank you for being here. And Valerie, welcome in. Hello, Dawn. Wow, so many moderators in the chat today. So that is what is going on. And like I said, tonight we're going to be doing mini readings. So Jeanette, let's... okay, you already put up your question. Okay, that's awesome. So make sure, here's a little bit of the rules as we get started. Make sure that you have your question ready. And then when I call your name, then you can post it in the chat. And that's that's how we do that. Okay. So I'm getting texts and phone calls and all kinds of stuff going on right now in the background, so I'm trying to focus. All right. So, the other thing is, we'll get started in a second. And the other thing is, I want to invite you guys to download my free moon astrology guide, which will tell you what your psychic gifts are based off of your moon sign. It'll enter you into my email list, and I send out a weekly moon magic report that goes out every Wednesday morning, and you get the horoscope for the whole week. Also, give this video a thumbs up if you're here live or watching the replay. Make sure to subscribe, and then welcome to all of the new subscribers. All right. Let's get it on. Okay, let's see. I would like any information and advice for the next 3 months. That's quite the question, Jeanette, for a mini reading. But let's see what we can look at. All right, let me pull up your chart. Got 7:18, 19:55, 4:10 a.m. Okay, good thing I have it saved already. That's fun. Okay, so I can give you like some big hitter stuff. And I'll share in a second. Hang on. Let me do this, and then it should pop up on the screen in any moment. Okay. Sorry, I'm just cracking myself up. Okay. So there is your chart, and it's cool because I had it saved. All right, let me just check out. Thank you, Wendy. Thank you to all the moderators. Moderators. The moderators are busy chatting. Now we got it. We got it. All the instructions are out. Okay, so here we go. This is our first reading for Jeanette. She's wondering about the next 3 months. Now, I will say, like I just mentioned, that's kind of a big question to ask for a mini reading, because it would take me like sitting down with your chart and like looking at all this stuff. So I'm gonna, for a while, to be able to like really give you a good answer to that. However, what I can do is do like just major kind of themes, and know that there's obviously a lot more that can happen in 3 months. But you know what would help is if you have maybe an area. Actually, this would help a lot. What area of your life are you really looking at here? Like, are you looking at like your spiritual life, or are you looking at your career? Like, what area of your life do you feel is the most important for you? And then we'll go from there. So that'll help me kind of narrow it down. Okay. In the meantime, I can just kind of talk about some of the major things that are going on for you. Yes, I saw that, Dawn, you signed up for level 2. And if you guys haven't signed up for level 2, make sure that you do. Okay. Awesome. I just read Jess's comment. That's awesome. That's great. The next one's going to be in next year, basically next year, January, I'm going to have the whole promotion for, although those of you that are interested in doing the Moon Goddess training, I'll have like this summer, I'm going to work on the promotion. And then next year, what I'm going to do is when you sign up for it, you basically sign up for like all 3 levels, like from the beginning, if you want to. Like, I'm going to have that option to, because this year was kind of like the pilot program, and it's been going really well, and I'm really happy with it, and I can't wait to start level 2. But next year, I think I need to have all 3 levels available for people to sign up for in the beginning, because honestly, it's like, it's a package, you know, like the whole 3 levels is like a package. So I want to make sure that that's like ready to go from the beginning. So spiritual guidance. Okay, so this is actually interesting, because that you said that, because the first thing that I notice here in your chart, Jeanette, is that the sun just entered Cancer. We all know that. And it's right now it's conjuncting all of your Cancer stuff. Like you have a lot of Cancer energy in your chart. You have Sun in Cancer, you have Moon in Cancer, Venus in Cancer, Mercury in Cancer. You're a Cancer rising. You also have Uranus in Cancer. Like you have a huge Cancer stellium. And so as the sun begins to move through Cancer, what it's going to be affecting for you is like, this is home, right? This is your birthday month. This is, yeah, Wendy, please do. You would freaking love the new content and all the new stuff. It's totally like hermetic alchemy, like, and yeah, anyways, it's epic. So, this is home for you. Like this is your month, right? So you're going to feel the highlight, which means like where the sun is hitting in your chart, where it's shining a light is on your communication, on your emotions, on your relationships, on who you are, on how you define yourself. Yeah, it's a lot of water, right? How you define yourself, your identity, but also spirituality, because some of the Cancer energy is in your 12th house and some of it is in your first house. So for these next like 30 days that the sun is in the sign of Cancer, what you're going to feel is this very intense like activation of all of this stuff. So it is a spiritual energy. It starts as you focusing on your spirituality, you focusing on your like how you connect to others in a spiritual way, because Cancer, because your Venus is in Cancer and it's in your 12th house, which is the house of the spiritual and the divine. Relationships for you are getting highlighted, and it's the relationships that are important, the relationships that are the ones that make you feel like there's deeper connections, right? It's not surface level stuff. It's like deeper. So I feel like these next, 30 days or so, you'll be, for the first 15 days, you'll be feeling more focusing on that. And then for the second part, it's like really focusing on yourself. So who you are, it's going to be your birthday. It's an opportunity for you to focus on your health, on your body, on like getting out there, maybe getting something going, like something new is happening in your life that you might feel. And especially when the sun crosses over the rising, it's like a new beginning, like a new story begins, and you complete your spiritual story of the zodiac personally, specifically to your own unique chart. You complete the story and you start a new one. So it's like a new beginning, like a new year that's coming up for you this month. So the sun will enter, obviously the next season will be Leo. And when the sun enters Leo, now you're going to be dealing with second house stuff. And that's where your Mars is. It's where your Jupiter is. It's where your Pluto is as well. It's also where your Vesta is. And Vesta is the keeper of the sacred flame. That's strong Leo energy. Like I love this chart, because Leo and Cancer are like the king and the queen, and you have both of these energies very strong. I feel like it's the masculine and the feminine are strong in your chart. It's a really beautiful balance between the two, because you have a lot of Cancer and you have Venus in Cancer, but then you also have Jupiter in Leo, and those are the two benefics, and in two signs that they actually really enjoy being in. So Jupiter magnifies everything, and so as the sun passes through Leo for those next 30 days, then you are going to feel like more action oriented. You're going to feel like you have more energy. It's a fun, like I think Leo season for you is fun because these things get like activated. The sun will conjunct your Jupiter, and that's a really positive thing around the beginning of Leo season. And when that happens, it's going to feel like a big expansive energy. So expect to feel like expansive during that month when Leo passes, when the sun passes through Leo, where it's at its rulership, where it feels the best right there in that energy of Leo. And Sun Jupiter in Leo is going to be like a beautiful, like a heart opening, like, and this is also the second house. So remember, this is about finances and money. And so like, that's an opportunity for you to manifest. That's an opportunity for you to work on and focus on putting your drive and your motivation towards bringing abundance in. And it doesn't necessarily have to be money, but it can be things that make you feel safe and secure and that make you feel good. Like Leo season is a really feel good month for you. And then the last month, which would be the sun going through Virgo season, so basically the whole summer season, right, is a little bit more quiet for you. And the reason why it's a little more quiet is because you don't have any planets in Virgo in your chart. So it's like just a little bit more, it's a little bit more toned down. Like there's a lot of energy for these next, like Cancer and Leo season are just like, woo, there's a lot and it's really intense. There's a lot going on. And then when you get to Virgo, it kind of quiets down a little bit. The only thing is that, so that's when the sun makes its opposition to Neptune, that's going to be interesting for all of us. But in your chart is going to be happening, I believe, if I just kind of go forward to when that happens, the sun will make an opposition and that'll happen at 23 or 24. So that's going to be, I was thinking that Neptune's about to go retrograde. So that's the opposition that makes us feel uncomfortable, and it makes us feel like foggy and like we don't really know what's going on. Neptune can create a fog. But retrograde, the good thing about Neptune retrograde is that the veil is lifted. So that will be on our side and we can see the truth and the reality. It's a time to be very practical. And with Virgo energy, the sun loves that practicality. So as long as you can stay focused on being present during that Virgo season, anything that shows up in your life that feels a little bit confusing, especially like you can't communicate or you have a hard time understanding things, it's good to come back to reality and focus on being more grounded during Virgo season. And I think you'll get through that opposition very nicely. And I would say like, yeah, I think that's kind of as far I could go on and on and on. Like there's a million things like that you could look at. You could look at all the retrogrades and where they're happening. That's why I'm like, that's kind of a big question to ask for a mini reading. But in a general sense, that's what it's going to feel like with the sun going through the signs that it's going to be going through in the next 3 months. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of it's going to be fun. I think the first 2 seasons will be fun. And then you'll get a little relaxing break, hopefully. All right. The next person is Jude. And I believe she is not in the chat. We were having a conversation earlier. So let me see. Okay, what is the truth going on in my body / field? Okay, so this is concerning, I think, her health. And Jeanette, if you know, I don't know if you know, because I know you guys are friends, but if you could kind of like say yes or no for me, is that what it is? It's like body field, meaning like her health and stuff. What's going on? What's the truth going on with her health? Okay, good. Awesome, Jeanette. I love that. Love that. So that's kind of in general, but I think there was another question. Let me just see if I can find it. What was she wanted a tarot reading for sure. I remember that. What is the truth that is happening in my field? Okay, what's kind of general, but yeah, that's fine. Let's do that. It's okay. So health and well-being. Let's check it out. This is fun, you guys. I'm having a blast. I hope you guys are having fun. I have energy. I just got back from like yoga. I'm all stretched out. Okay. So we're going to pull 5 cards, and after Jude, it's Lynette. So just to let you guys know, and then it's Sandra, and then it's Jessica. So what does Jude need to know right now about her body? What's going on with her body? What's underneath it all? How can she understand what's going on better? Okay, these cards just flew out. So let's check it out. Okay. And what is the wisdom from the... Oh, there it is. Definitely intense cards. Okay, and what's the animal spirit that can help her gain some wisdom for right now? I need like a tray that like catches the cards that fall. I'm pretty high up here on my desk. And then Valerie just got on the list too. All right, let's see. What's the animal that will guide her through this, whatever it is that she's going through right now? Two of them came out. We'll go with it. All right. So we begin with a major arcana, and it is actually a beautiful card. I can't wait to actually see what it's about, what story, what fairy tale it's connected to. So the star, and I think that's the moon on top. The star, this little girl, I think it might be, no, not Rapunzel, but it looks like Rapunzel because she has really long hair. But she's a girl or young woman. She looks like she's crying. She's looking up at the stars. She has a little sheep in her arms. And I feel this as you. I feel like right now you may be feeling a little bit hopeless, that you're at a point where you are like looking up and being like, what's going on? And that's the energy I feel. There's sadness, there's concern, although I feel all of that right now. What is the fairy tale of this? This is called Sister Alyonushka and Brother Ivanushka. It's a Russian fairy tale. The star is a symbol of hope after a disaster. However, it is upright. I will say that it is upright. So that's a good thing. That means like hopes and dreams, you're reaching for them. They're coming. This is a moment to wish upon a star. This is a moment to connect. So what I'm saying actually before I read into the story is that what is going on right now is that you have to go deeper, okay? As above, so below, as within, so without. If you're experiencing something internally in your body, and this goes for anyone, that it's a biological thing, it's a health issue, it 100% has to do with something spiritual. 100%. And that is what I see in this card, is the look up, look for the deeper meaning behind what is going on. You need to find the answers like at a soul level, because that's where the healing happens, at that soul level. And when you can heal at that level, the physical stuff are just symptoms of what's going on, like at a soul level. An Akashic reading would also be good. And then I know that you just booked a starseed reading, so I'm excited to do that reading for you. Okay. So the star is a symbol of hope after a disaster, the need to remain positive after misfortune, to remember that things can get better again. It is staying calm and open to future possibilities, seeing your situation with open eyes, mind, and heart. So that's what you need to do. And this is the message, is that you need to stay open. You need to know that things are going to get better. You need to stay calm and look towards the future and feel it with every cell of your being, because our cells are literally our health. With every cell of your being, that is true. And keep looking up towards the sky with open eyes, open mind, and open heart. That is what your spirit guides want you to know. Don't give up, basically, is what the star card represents. Now you do get, as the challenge position, you get the card that is, it's the King of Swords, but it is reversed. But look at this picture, you guys. Look at this picture. He's like a winged lion slash hawk slash fox. Like, I see a fox in there. I see a lion. There, he has wings. I see a bird that has a beak. I mean, this is like, what is this? Is like, it's like a very mythological animal. It is the griffin. It's a griffin. Ooh, it's from Persia. It's a Persian mythology. However, in this reading, it did come out reversed. So we'll see what it means. The King of Swords represents wisdom enhanced by power. The griffin is a noble and intelligent creature soaring over land and sea. What does that mean? It soars over the emotions. It soars over the situation. It can see the perspective from above. A symbol for patience, perseverance, and judgment. However, when it is reversed, this can mean experiencing energies that are that feel like they're restricting towards you. This can be oppression. It can feel like oppression, right? Cynicism, cruelty, violence. I mean, doesn't mean all those things are what's happening for you, but I do feel the oppression and the cynicism that's happening. And this could mean actually that maybe you feel right now like you don't really have the support that you need. And it's not that people around you are not supporting you through this situation. It's just that whoever you're dealing with, maybe doctors, maybe like they're kind of being maybe condescending, or they're not able to give you answers. And so it's like the most frustrating thing ever. And so it feels like the pressure is coming from outside in. But you are a manifester, right? So one of the emotions that you experience when you are not living your design is anger. And if you don't live your design for long enough, that anger will solidify in your body. And that's something to look at, is where in your experience, in your life, in your thoughts, in anything, is there anger that's left over from the past? And how can you deal with that? Like, be with it, first of all, accept that it's there, and then like surrender, but without judgment. Like, none of this is like, you have to do this and you have to do that. It's like, none of it is like that. It's more about reflection. But this is your challenge. Your challenge is to deal with maybe even your own negative like thoughts about it, or your own cynicism about it, your own, maybe you are oppressing yourself in a way as well. So again, this could be a pressure from outside oppressing you, or maybe a pressure from within oppressing you. And it takes some like deep contemplation to understand what this is really about. Now, the King of Swords also represents Archangel Michael. Archangel Michael. But when he's upright, he like comes to cut the cords, right? He comes with his sword to cut the cords from relationships, energies, past, present, even future. Like if we're talking quantum here, that no longer serve you, that maybe you're giving away your power. So he cuts the cords so that you can take your power back. But when it's reversed, that's what I'm feeling. It's like maybe you don't feel that support, and that's the challenge. Is you need to ask for that support. You need to believe in that support. You need to believe that it's there, and then you need to do the work to actually maintain the clarity. When you get the clarity, you got to do the work to maintain the clarity in your life. And yeah, it's the inability to cut the cords is another message. You gotta figure out a way. You gotta figure out where are those cords attached to, and it's past trauma most likely. And how do you deal with them? You gotta cut the cords, and you gotta continue, like keep that work up. You actually got 3 major arcanas in your reading, and that's a lot. So this is saying that this is very important. This is a very important message to listen to. What is the overall theme? The overall theme is this is a really deep reading. Okay. The overall theme is the devil card. Straight up, the devil. And this is Boitatá from Brazil, a Brazilian mythology. The devil gives into the ego, lusting for unnecessary or harmful things, unwilling to leave negative situations. It's a dragon sitting upon a pile of gold it does not need. A person setting a forest on fire for their own gain. Dude, that's heavy. A dragon sitting upon a pile of gold it does not need. A person setting a forest on fire for their own gain. This is about greed, controversy, violence, strange experiences, and addictions. So this is about dealing with addictions. And addictions are not just like, oh, I have a drug addiction. No, addiction can be addictions to patterns and behaviors of thinking, patterns and behaviors of feeling, patterns and behaviors of doing, like actual physical things that you do that you've learned. It's the conditioning. It's our conditioning. Again, there's no judgment. Yeah, this is heavy. There's no judgment, because if you're going to be open, if you want to be open, you got to be open to see the truth. You got to be open to what comes through. As much as you want to resist and say that's not it, whatever, doesn't matter. If you remember, you need to have an open mind and an open heart. That's the first message that comes through. You need to deal, you need to cut the cords that you're not willing to let go of. Reversed, right? You need to like stop struggling with it and just cut the cords already. And deal with the addictions, the learned behavior, the learned patterns that you continue to do, even within yourself, internally. We can be addicted to a certain way of thinking, right? So you need to decondition. You need to work on deconditioning yourself. Unlearn all the toxic shit that doesn't serve you, and cut those cords so that you can heal. Can actually give your body space to heal. Here's the wisdom from the ancestors. The death card. Wisdom from the ancestors. The death. I can't make this shit up. These are beautiful cards. You can't make this shit up. This is literally the journey of transcendence. White Bear King Velmon, a Norwegian fairy tale. Death is a huge upheaval, potentially representing the death of one way of life and the start of a new one. Life changes irrevocably, and there is no way to go back. Change is necessary. The death of childhood is important in order to grow up. Upright. This is about metamorphosis, evolution, loss, transition, change. What your spirit guides, this is the message from your spirit guides. What they're telling you is you need to surrender to the symbolic death of all of these negative habits, of all of the things that you're trying to hold on to, of the lack of clarity. You got to let it all go to be able to receive the answer. Yeah, this is intense. To be able to receive the answer. Keep an open mind and an open heart. This is a huge time of transformation. Thank you, Nelly. With death comes rebirth. That's on the other side. That's on the other side of death is rebirth. And that's the magic, right? That's the magic. Who do you get as animal spirits, animal friends for you right now during this transition? The mouse and the peacock. The mouse, detail-oriented, small-minded, nitpicky, and nervous. The mouse has an innate desire to tend to the details. It often spends its days fixing, preparing, organizing, and scrutinizing. Unfortunately, a mouse personality doesn't notice when they've gone too far. Soon they begin to have a limited and fearful vision of life and try to control every detail. This can be quite a painful experience for both the mouse and those around them. When mouse energy is at play, step back for a moment. It may be time to find a more purposeful project to delve into, one that's worthy of your exacting eye. To bring this back into balance, do exactly that. Do something mindful. Mindfulness. Bring mindfulness into your life. All right. The peacock. This is a freaking heavy, but like a very, very, very clear message. No one's asking what they're saying. This is what they're saying. Peacock. Inner beauty. Compassion. The assimilator of anything. The beauty of the peacock is unrivaled. It's easy to think it comes from the plumage. But the secret of the peacock is that the beauty resides within and extends outward indefinitely. This adept creature can assimilate or digest all experiences in life, so it does not harbor resentment, conflict, or past pain within its psyche. The peacock type is extremely rare. Not many of us have reached this advanced level of acceptance of self and others. So you need to learn to accept, find that acceptance, digest, do not harbor resentment, conflict, or past pain within your psyche. I mean, whoa. So if that didn't give you some insight, I don't know what will. I'm just kidding. I wish you good luck, Jude, on your journey into healing, whatever that looks like for you. And thank you for getting a reading. Okay. And I can't wait to do the starseed reading for you. You'll get a lot of insight as well from that. Lynette, here we go. And let me add whoever was added to the list. Here we've got, okay, Valerie added to the list. So the list is Lynette, Sandra, Jessica, and then Valerie. That was like, whoa. And welcome in everyone that is here. I appreciate you guys being here. If you missed the beginning, make sure you check out the new Eagle Star Jewels shop. And the link is in the description. It like a whole bunch of new stuff has been uploaded, and I can't freaking wait to see you guys wearing these things. Yes, there's still room for a reading. Okay. I am asking for insight on career and relationships. Will my career launch into a new level? I have a dream. Will it come to fruition by the end of the year, since Saturn retrograde? I've healed 2 wounded relationships just since the full moon in Sagittarius. It has been so freeing, and I have felt that I needed to heal them in order to launch forward. Yeah, I can look at a Gene Keys chart. I can look at it, but I'll focus on probably the activation sequence, especially if people are new to it. But maybe not. You know me. Once I get going, I have healed. Felt that I needed to heal them in order to launch forward. Okay, so then the question is, I'm asking for inside career and relationships. Will the career launch into a new level? Will it come to fruition by the end of the year? Let's find out. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Here we go. The very first card that you get, which is the intuition card, is the Eight of Swords. However, it is reversed. But let me show it to you upright because the images are nice to look at. So this is somebody who's hiding in a sort of dark kind of place, cave-looking place. Someone who's like shape-shifting, covered in a hide, like a donkey hide, and very scared and afraid. But this, remember, it came out reversed. Donkey Skin is the name of this fairy tale. It's a French fairy tale. The Eight of Swords represents being caught up in your own insecurities. Donkey Skin was forced into hiding to escape a bad situation. Now she is faced with the decision to continue the life she has created or step out of her self-made prison. Whoa. Now she is faced with the decision to continue the life she has created or to step out of her self-made prison. However, here's the exciting thing. This card was not upright. It was reversed, which is a really, really good thing. Reverse, this means freedom. Reverse, this means new perspectives, taking a stand, having strength and healing. So this is a beautiful affirmation that although in the past you may have been sort of right in your own prison of the mind is a good way to put it. What is happening now is that you're getting the clarity and you're slowly starting to come out. You're taking the blindfold off and you're saying, I can see where I have created this in my life and I want to change it and heal it. And that's the process that you're in. And that's what this card tells us, is that you're in that process right now. It's a really good place. It's a really good starting point, right? For us here. The challenge is the Page of Coins. So let's see which fairy tale this is connected to. It's really sweet. She's out in nature and I think elk. She's with elk. She's like near a mountain. This is Beaivi Nieida, a Sweden, a Sami deity. The Page of Coins welcomes the beginning of spring and summer, a fresh start, the end of darkness. Wow. Beaivi Nieida represents hope, setting up solid foundations and mental wellness. She's grounded and anticipates the bright future. How fucking cool is this reading? It's all very positive. So, but this is in the challenge position. So the challenge for you is, in order to make this happen, is you gotta set those strong foundations. You have the vision, you have the the happiness, you see it in the future. Now you just have to set the groundedness to go from here into the future. This is about setting goals. So you need to set goals. This is about loyalty, positivity, opportunities, and manifestation. So now is the time. Like, you can't just view it. You got to take the action to make it actually happen. All right. The overall theme. Ooh, this is interesting. The Knight of Coins reversed. But if you look at him, it's a young boy, and there's a fly around me, and he's got arrows in his hands. He has a bow and arrows, and he is sitting on a bull cow. And remember, the bull or the cow represents Hathor. And Hathor is the goddess, the mother, the one that gives us all. But the overall theme here is reversed. So this is Hatsi Abib from South Africa, a Khoikhoi deity. Ooh, he's a deity. You're getting deities. This is interesting. The Knight of Coins is a diligent warrior who is willing to put in the work to set the world right. Hatsi Abib can be as stubborn as an ox, getting into trouble for his efforts. He is strong, loyal, and determined in all things he sets his mind to. However, you're going to love this. When this is reversed, this can be impatience, apathy, irresponsibility, and anxiety. I'm feeling the impatience and the anxiety coming through. And that is what's happening, is that you have to learn to be patient with this dream, patient with this vision. And you asked about Saturn energy, right? Saturn is the planet of, like, you will get to the top. Like, you will get there, but you got to be patient, and you got to be like step 1, step 2, step 3. So the desire and the excitement is there, but then there's a little bit, of that impatience and anxiety that is getting in your way, because the bull or the cow or whatever represents like abundance, like ultimate abundance, right? So here is the exciting energy that is coming through. This is the wisdom from the ancestors. And it is dun, 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 the Four of Wands. That's really exciting. Mohini and Aravan from India, a Sanskrit epic poem. The Four of Wands represents rejoicing and festivities, a well-deserved celebration, and a stable time to be thankful, cherishing loved ones. Mohini and Aravan embrace each other, enjoying the time before the next adventure begins. Right? Reunion, success, pride, happiness, and family. That is really, really good. So here is the message from the animal spirits. And you did get an interesting one. You got the fire ant. So the fire ant is about aggression, rigid thinking, following orders. Fire ant energy flares up without noticing. It's the force that attracts us to people and situations that feed our imbalances rather than those that counter them. Gossiping and blaming are a few indicators that misaligned fire ant energy is at play. You may also find yourself stewing on a person or situation, only making things worse. How can you break free from the drama and cool down? Fire ants are surprisingly sensitive. Don't pretend the heat isn't getting to you. That's hilarious. But this is how to get rid of it, and what could be possibly in the way It's that like, right, that intense energy, the stewing on something, that maybe the stewing on the things that aren't working, you know, like why isn't it here yet or whatever. That is what to watch out for, because everything else really does feel like a positive, like yes, everything else feels like a yes. It's going to take time, but it will definitely come true if you step into patience, and if you like stop stewing on any kind of thought that is the fear and the insecurity of whether this is going to happen or not. So that's what we got for you, Lynette. And next we have Sandra. Sandra is next on our list. And thank you again. Okay, good. I'm glad that it resonated with you. I'm glad that resonated with you. Okay. Sandra, what is your question? All right. So we got Sandra, and then Jessica, and then Valerie on the list. And then after that, I don't think there's anyone else, but I will check it. Yeah, it looks like Valerie was the last one that got on the list. You're welcome. Okay, there's no one after Valerie. I just wanted to double check that. She wants an astrology reading, but what is your question? What is your question? That way I can figure out which kind of astrology reading to do for you. And I'm going to pull up your chart while you answer that question. All right, let's see. 8/18/65. Yes, but what do you want to know? Do you have anything that you want to know right now? Where do you want the guidance? What area are you looking for guidance? Or you just want me to just see what comes out? What I'm drawn to. I can do that too. Okay, it's 11 p.m. Okay. Let's share this. Okay. Let me just look at what's happening right now. The main thing that I see here, and this is the transit chart, and I don't know if you've noticed this before about your chart by looking at it, but the main thing that kind of jumps out at me is this the South Node transiting through your 8th house. And getting closer and closer to your Neptune, which is also in Scorpio in your 8th house. So I'm being drawn to that because of the eclipses that have been going on, right? We're having Taurus eclipses and Scorpio eclipses, and they're like just switching back and forth between and we just had we had a new moon solar eclipse in Taurus and a full moon lunar eclipse in Scorpio, which was kind of gnarly. And then in October and November, we're going to have a new moon solar eclipse in Scorpio and a full moon lunar eclipse in Taurus. And I feel like that's the where to focus on for you. So we're looking into October 20 something and November like 8, 9, 10, or 11. Anyways, for the new moon lunar eclipse. And the reason I want to focus on that is like those are the things that just jumped out, right? So this is the biggest things that are going on in your life, the biggest changes that are going on in your life, where the energy is really focusing on and concentrating for all of us. But for you, Sandra, it's happening in these specific areas. So second house, which is your identity, your sense of self. And then the second house is your value, your self-esteem. And then you have the 8th house and there's a little bit, okay, so Scorpio is partly in the 8th and partly in the 7th. So the 7th is relationships and the 8th is like endings and new beginnings. So this is a theme for like the whole year. It's just going to keep kind of hitting these areas. So I actually want to go and see and go look at that. Let's go look at it. Okay. So we've got new moon solar eclipse in, look at that. That's crazy. 2 degrees, 2 degrees, 2 degrees. The sun, Venus, and the moon all in your 7th house. The eclipse of October 25th is happening in your 7th house of relationships. And because it's a south node eclipse, this is like the theme of these next eclipses that are coming up. So we're working towards that, right? We're releasing whatever happened from the last eclipses, which we just had, and then we're moving towards, we're working on everything that those themes brought up. And then the next theme for you, which for some reason it's like saying this, she needs to know, is relationships are going to be a big place where you're going to feel this shift. And the shift is relationships that have to be released, relationships that have to be let go, things within relationships that must be forgiven, that must be like released so that there can be a rebirth within the relationships. But because it is also the South Node, it's like very karmic. So karmic relationships that show up in our lives, karmic situations that show up in our lives to teach us how to let go and to teach us how to release. And that's a big theme that's been happening for you this year and also going to be coming up again in October. Now, these eclipses are going to be like heavy. They're not going to be easy, but I want to just give you that insight that that's where that's happening for you. And Scorpio energy, again, it's deep, it's the depth, it's the underworld, it's going through it's looking at the shadows. So the shadows come to light. It is a new beginning, so because it's a new moon solar eclipse, so you have to think about what do you want to replace, like from this energy. What do you want to make new? What needs to be new here? What can you release so that there's a new intention that needs to be set? And then when the lunar eclipse in Taurus happens, let's go to that. It is happening at 16 degrees. Exactly 16 degrees, 0 minutes. Wow. And it's on your moon. And that is in your 2nd house. And that is an eclipse that happens with the North Node. And the North Node is about destiny. It's about purpose. Is where are we taking this now? So we set the intention with that new moon eclipse, solar eclipse. for you, it's regarding relationships and releasing in relationships and karmic relationships and healing karma and old patterns and wounds. And then now where do you want to take it? Because now it's like, okay, now you do the work, and then here's what we focus on next, which is the manifestation of that. And it's, if you do the work of releasing and letting go in whatever relationships are the ones that need it, you will feel the benefit of that, which is will be in your second house on your moon. You will really feel good. You will really feel like you did the right thing. You really feel like you've been doing the work. And again, this is a theme that's been going on, but just specifically, this is where these two are happening in your chart. So you'll feel good, you feel secure, you feel like you did the work, and something new and exciting will show up, because this is a lunar eclipse that, look at that, Uranus exactly at 16 degrees of Taurus conjunct the moon. I mean, this is unpredictable, but good because it's the North Node and it's guiding us towards our destiny. Scary because it's unexpected, but awesome because the moon in Taurus is exalted and it's strong and it feels good. So as long as you're willing and open to allow something new that you never thought could happen in your life happen, to bring you security and to bring you that feeling grounded and feel good about yourself, then you will be on the right path. And you'll know, because you'll either feel really good or not. It'll be very clear. You either feel like you did the right thing or no. But most likely naturally, because people that are, conscious and aware of things like this, they listen to their intuition. Most likely you will just intuitively do the right thing. But those are the big themes that are coming up. For some reason, that's the first thing that kind of came to me. So there we go. There we go. Kind of looking forward into the future. Big themes in your life right now. These are big themes. This is 18 months of dealing with these energies. And maybe that gives you insight into why a lot of these things have been going on for you already. You've been kind of dealing with these things already. And a lot of shifting and changing. So there we go. So thank you. And I hope that gave you some insight, Sandra. And next we have Jessica. And then Valerie, and I don't think there's anyone else on the list after that. So the list is technically open after Valerie. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4 more. I'm able to do 4 more after Valerie if anybody still wants to get on the list. Right, Nelly? You're welcome, Sandra. Somebody asked me what's in my smoothie. It is a protein smoothie. Okay, here we go. Transit reading for Jessica. All right, September 10th, 79, 9:42 a.m. Okay. Mankato. Curious to anything that stands out, and possibly your thoughts on my Uranus opposition, Uranus trine my Virgo stellium happening now. Okay. Let me just make sure I got this all right. 9:42 a.m. Okay. Okay. So, let's just go with the Uranus opposition thing, because it's kind of significant. So Uranus opposition happens in like a 3 cycle thing. And every time that it hits, something new becomes unveiled. Something new shows up. It's like we along with Uranus, we're like jumping over hurdles or moving through barriers or moving through obstacles, and each obstacle takes us like deeper into healing, helps us release more and deeper into our spirituality and our divinity. And Uranus activates us so strongly that it can be one of the craziest and wildest experiences in our lives that change our lives drastically. That's the thing about Uranus, is like Uranus shows up and says, this is time for us to make a big change, make a big shift. If you resist, I'm giving just a little bit of background information on the Uranus opposition. So if you resist what Uranus wants you to move through, it tends to build up and build up and build up and build up and build up. And it's either going to get suppressed or repressed, or it's going to like explode, right? Like it's going to explode. And the shift will end up happening kind of like, it feels kind of forced on us if we resist it, but if we welcome it, then it opens us up and expands us deeper into our spirituality and our divinity. But it's a very physical and visceral experience too, because Uranus tends to activate the Kundalini. Thank you, Wendy. Uranus tends to activate the Kundalini energy in our bodies. And so it's a very electric and very visceral shift. And some people talk about Uranus opposition literally like tingling sensation in my body. Like I feel like I'm walking around and I'm like electric, or I'm having like physical symptoms like heart palpitations or whatever. These are random examples. Like I don't even remember they were exact from the book, but physical symptoms in the body can be a very physical experience as well. So what ends up happening, and remind me, Wendy, I haven't actually, looked at the book in a while, but the 3 phases are, I think the first one, okay, so this is what happens, right? So the very first one, the Kundalini rises and it gets stuck somewhere at whatever chakra or whatever place in your channel that is blocked by some kind of either past life trauma or early in this childhood trauma, or also just childhood healing. Wherever things are stuck, it's like the pressure starts to build up right there. And it's like, this is where you're going to work on this shit now, bitch. No, I'm just kidding. Wendy's like very intense. Sorry, I couldn't help myself. So the pressure starts to build right there, and it's like you have no choice but to deal with that wound, or to deal with that blockage, or yeah, right, Jess. I have the book on my to deal with that, right? So the second one is you work through that and you release that very consciously, and then it moves up higher, and then on the next chakra it gets blocked. And the same thing happens again, and you got to do that work. And then the third one is like the final release. And as women, we are learning to step into our power as sacred, divine, feminine, like high priestesses and moon goddesses. And men learn to step into, so like women step into their power and authority at this time. And then men, if they don't resist it, right? And then men learn to step into their heart. Men learn to, like, basically women go from the heart to the mind. So from the feminine to the masculine expression of the powerful feminine. And then men go from the masculine expression of the mind to the feminine expression of the heart. So they learn to soften, and then we step into our power, and then men learn to soften. And in essence, like if you're in a relationship and you're both kind of going through this at the same time, it can be kind of chaotic, but at the same time, there is this beautiful transition that if you both make through it, like you step into your power as the woman, and then the masculine is there to support you, is there to be your rock, because then they finally understand, right? Not that men don't understand, not finally is not the word. They begin to have a deep physical experience of, I gotta get out of my mind and I gotta finally step into my heart. Okay, now let's look at your chart. That was fun. That was awesome, actually. So let's go back. 17 is yours. Okay. So went retrograde, then started coming back, and here we are. So 49. So what you're experiencing right now, fully understand. I love that, Nelly. What you're experiencing right now is the very first hit, right? The very first place where you, like, it's showing up for you. And what's interesting, oh my God, this is kind of intense, in your chart right now, and these are like my thoughts on your specific, Jai, you'll be so prepared for you. I don't know about that. No, I'm just kidding. I'm like excited for it, but then like scared, at the same time, because it's like, it's Uranus, it's unpredictable. You can think it's going to go a certain way, but it's like not. Here's what's really interesting for you, Jessica. The nodes are on it. So you got South Node on your natal Uranus, and you got North Node on obviously the transiting Uranus. So this adds a really like kind of wild, like adventure, like wild flavor to it. Like, whoa, because not only that is that, this is also, because the nodes are there, this is also where the eclipses are happening. So I'm sorry, Jessica, but you're in for a wild fucking ride. Yeah, exactly. So what this is adding, so we just talked, like, you already know, right, what's happening, right? If you look at the house that it's all happening in, it's going to be the second house opposing the 8th house, where all of this is happening. Your natal Uranus is in your second. The transiting Uranus is in the 8th. So it's like, and it's so interesting because you have Taurus in the 8th house and Scorpio in the 2nd house, which is the opposite houses that they belong in. Yeah, lots of changes. So Taurus usually lives in the 2nd and Scorpio usually lives in the 8th. So you have the opposite of that. It's kind of interesting, right? Because you're Libra rising. So the chart is flipped. The opposites are like flipped in your chart. And so you've got all of these themes, right? Letting go is what the South Node is asking generally. So that means that your Uranus opposition is going to have to deal with, I instantly saw the word childhood healing. Letting go of childhood trauma is a big part. And I don't know why that came up, but we're just going to go with it. And it's healing past life and karmic stuff. So your Uranus opposition has to do with letting go of the past and moving into the future. Do you think the Sun-Saturn trine will give it all a positive spin? anything can have a positive spin. But let me get to that in a second. So there's a huge thing here about this is karmic for you. Letting go of so what part of what's going to happen is you're going to let go of old values. You're going to have to set new values. Like you're going to have to value yourself either more or in a different way than you have before. That's what's going on with your natal Uranus and the South Node, like hovering over it while you're going through the opposition. So this is huge letting go and changing what is important and what is of value to you. That's a huge theme here. On the other side, it's about finding value in change, finding value in the shift. And the eclipses are going to like hammer this theme in of you got to let go of old belief systems, old ways of looking at yourself, old the way that you have, maybe you haven't valued yourself as much in the past. And so now you need to learn to value yourself more. And as you do, a lot of things are going to change and they're going to be drastic. So this is going to be like very, very, a drastic change. And the more you can follow, so the highlights, look at the eclipses. I know you look at your astrology chart, right? So like look at the eclipses and when they're happening, because those are going to be also important things that are shining a light on this duality of the second and the eighth house. Now, the second one happens in October, right around the eclipses. Like right around the eclipses. And then remember that full moon lunar eclipse is going to be happening at 16 degrees of Taurus. It's going to be exactly on the transiting Uranus and on the North Node. I mean, there's just so much right here, right? Like there's just so much right here. So new values, unexpected ways of like, this is also about abundance. Because remember, Taurus is like money, abundance, and new relationship to your material life and how you see the material wealth in your life. So that's the second hit. And then the third one is, and I'm sure you know these, but it helps me to see where they're happening. The third one is the April of 2023. And then by then the nodes are getting closer and closer to leaving, but they're still not out of Taurus and Scorpio. That's why the nodes are huge right now, a huge theme to pay attention to the eclipses and the duality of the second and the eighth house. And then of course you have that trine to Saturn and your sun, and also Venus too, because they're within orb, and Mercury and the North Node, although the North Node is a little further away. But I mean, I feel like what's going to happen, that trine and sextile to the opposition is going to, I agree with you, that I think it's going to bring, if not a positive spin, because it's hard to say positive or negative. Like those aren't really the words that I use to describe this. Like I wouldn't describe Uranus opposition as positive or negative. It's just, it's unpredictable. It's change. It's becoming comfortable with change. It is what it is. And you put the positive spin on it, right? Like you put the meaning on it. You're the one that brings in the meaning to it. So anything can be positive, right? It's like the perspective that you have of it. But if you allow yourself to go with the flow and to shift with what is shifting, then it will be positive, right? But the trine brings in a somewhat of a, hopefully, a harmonious energy to it. Whereas what I feel to me that's coming through is there's going to be a deep soul understanding of why everything is changing the way it's changing, why everything is showing up. That's what's going to happen. It's like deep understanding. Like you have that Saturn conjunct the sun, which is a very mature energy, and you can understand from a mature perspective. You can watch and see it all happen. But also think about this too, is that at the same time that that's going on, the Saturn and the sun and all this stuff is also making a trine and a sextile to the nodes. And that's karmic healing. So it's deep. And also think about the relationship between the 2nd and the 8th house and the 11th house. And the 11th house is, I feel like what's going to happen as you go through this opposition is your worldview is going to change, and it's going to bring more understanding, and it's going to bring more like mastery, and it's going to bring more of you understanding yourself as like the wise one. Yeah. And literally you could go on and on and on, but that's super interesting. That's a really interesting thing. I think it's a good thing. The trine is always going to be a good thing. Thank God it's a trine and not a square, right? Because the square would bring in a challenge to be resolved, but the trine just acts as like a diffuser of like the energy. But because it's Saturn and the sun, it's your soul, and it's deep soul understanding and wisdom. Wisdom will come through. Wisdom and understanding. So there we go. Yes, have fun. Have fun with it. We'll definitely want to know where you're at on the other side. All right, we got Valerie next. And you'll feel it coming in and then fading. And then the second one coming in and then fading. So you're already experiencing whatever this is. Because that first one was July 2nd. So you're already experiencing it. It's been coming in. So pay attention, right? Yeah, like just pay attention to what's showing up in your life. It's such a blessing to be able to watch these things happen in real time and to be aware of them. And that's the reason why I like look at everything. And I teach about all of it, right? Like gene keys, human design, astrology, because having the awareness is like huge to help us understand. And for astrology, these big transitory things in our lives, these big cycles in our lives are for me the most important. Like the everyday transits, okay, yeah, that's cool, but those change and it's like things that come and go, and it's constantly changing, right? The transit astrology. But the big cycles like the progress chart, huge importance. Like these big cycles, like, right, Saturn return, Uranus opposition, all of that. Like those are huge events in our lives. And I would also look at your progress chart and what's happening in your progress chart during this time as well. That's like adding another little flavor to it, honestly. Fuck it, let's look at it. So let me just reset to right now. So your moon is in Scorpio. So, so your progressed moon is actually right now in Scorpio. It's about to end. It's also waxing. So you're in the new story already. It's going to change into Sag right around the eclipse. The day right before the eclipse, it's going to turn into Sag. So look at your progress chart too. Look at that too, because there's a big shift. And your moon is crescent, waxing. I mean, it's a crescent moon. It is waxing crescent. Yeah. So, but in Scorpio is added intensity, added drama. And then when it moves into Sag, it's like, all right, time to explore, time to have fun. Dude, there's so many freaking layers to this. It's everywhere. Okay. So now genekeys.com. And let us the book for that, for progress chart, is Predictive Astrology. That's what it's called. Okay. And this is for you, Valerie, right? Okay. Yeah. Okay, Valerie. I'll just put my email, whatever. Okay, we've got birth city, Fort Wayne. Hang on a second. It should be pulling up like I wonder why it's not. Oh, known issue. Locations not loading. The third-party software for locating cities is currently experiencing issues. If problems persist, please try again tomorrow. We have submitted a ticket and hope this will be fixed quickly. This is kind of... can you email me? Can you email me your chart right now? Just real quick, so I can look at it. That will be the solution. Yeah, because it's not like loading the location, which is pointless. Yeah, email me your chart real quick. Let's just do it. We got time. And then I'll pull it up from my email. We can look at it like that. Okay, doke. And while you're doing that, let us just chat. There's still room if you guys want to get on the list. But if no one gets on the list once we are complete with Valerie's reading, then we'll end the broadcast. And I feel like it's been amazing. I am obsessed with these cards, you guys. I am obsessed with them. They are just my favorite cards ever. Like literally ever. Such beautiful, beautiful things. Okay. I'm just checking. I thought maybe I was you. Clearing all the emails out. Okay. I'm sure it's going to come in. So, maybe I'll talk about does anybody not know what the gene keys are? So the gene keys are these cards called Tarot of the Divine. And there's a book. I actually got the book. I have not gotten a chance to look at this, but it's called Beneath the Moon, Fairy Tales, Myths, and Divine Stories from Around the World. And the whole tarot deck, it's like these are some of the pictures of the cards. The whole tarot deck is based off of these beautiful fairy tales. And in the book, you actually get to read about like the story. So you can get like more insight into the story. It's just freaking phenomenal. And I haven't gotten a chance to look at this, but itself, the tarot deck called Tarot of the Divine, the images are out of control. Yeah, they are amazing. And they tell you like what story, like this is probably from Aladdin. They tell you what fairy tale or what story it's from. They have like the Little Mermaid in there. They have tales from all over the world, like all over the world. And you learn the fairy tales. It's like so freaking magical. Okay. She's like, here's a picture. Okay. This is the one, Wendy. You will not regret this thing. No, it's all good. No worries about the scribbling. We're like, this is your chart. Okay. So, and then I can write on it, which is fun. Let's do it with green. All right. So, ooh, I like that you wrote the pathways on there. So what do we got? For those of you that don't understand the gene keys, this is what we call a hologenetic profile. The activation sequence, oh yeah, it's green, is this. The Venus sequence is, we're actually going to be going through into the Venus sequence. And then the Pearl sequence is this one. This is way too much fun for me, you guys. So there's three sequences inside the gene keys. The green one is the activation, and it activates your life path, your life's work, your purpose. It tells you how you evolve and what are some of the biggest challenges that you're going to have in your life. But if you resolve, if you do the work and like have breakthroughs in your life, you will shine brighter. Literally, that's your radiance. You will shine brighter, and then you'll uncover a deeper essence of who you are, which is actually your purpose. Because your purpose is not what you're supposed to do in life. People think it's what we're supposed to do, but it's not. Your purpose is who you are. And that's what's so cool about the gene keys is the activation sequence finishes off with you knowing who you are. It's your core stability. And when you know who you are and you have that core stability, this is why we went into the gene keys activation sequence in the Moon Goddess training level 1. And in level 2, we go into the Venus sequence. And level 3, we do the Pearl. And dude, I'm just going to tell you something really cool about the Pearl sequence. So the Pearl sequence literally tells you how to brand yourself in business. Like it, and I was like, oh my God, we can bring business in, because when we have the level 3, which is the actual Akashic certification training, we get to talk about how to brand yourself, your own business of doing Akashic record readings, or however you want to do your business. Like, you get to learn how to brand yourself. So I just realized that the other day. I'm like, oh my God, that's totally going to be part of level 3. So you go through activating yourself in the activation sequence. Yes, Nelly. Then you go through understanding your emotional wounding The Venus sequence is the emotional wounding, the map of your emotional wounding from the point you were conceived, the point of conception, and then the first 7 years of life, the second 7 years of life, and the third 7 years of life. And then what is your most like instinctual like defense mechanism, both mentally and emotionally, that you go to because of these wounds, and how to like heal them, and what kind of people you attract into your life so that you can heal your karma. That's the Venus sequence, just in a nutshell. And then the pearl is about prosperity and branding, and like your branding and like you out in the world, like doing your work and how you should do it, and how you should advertise and market and all that shit. It's gonna be the badass. Okay. That was the little, if those of you that don't know anything about the gene keys, I just literally told you why you need to know about the gene keys. However, I know that Valerie has been, oh, interesting. It's like wants me to do it like that. I know that Valerie has been, okay, there, studying this activation sequence in the Moon Goddess training. And so this is what we're going to focus on. So here we go. What is the life's work? The life's work is basically, it tells you what you're here to do. And this is about actually doing. This is about actually taking action in the world. So you need to know yourself, take the trash out, love yourself, and be, yeah, exactly, Nelly. It's amazing. And then it all goes back to the beginning. Like it starts with this fear of life's work, and then it ends with this fear of life's work. So depending on, I'm just going to go into it. I'm going to stop like explaining it, and I'm just going to kind of like go into it. Cause I can't help but like educate. Like I'm totally a teacher, you know, and I like love to explain everything before I actually dive into it. Like I explained that entire Uranus opposition thing before I even looked at Jess's account, Jess's astrology. But so here it is. Let's just stop the explaining and then just start talking about it. So you have the shadow. So from now on, if you don't understand what I'm talking about, then sign up for the Moon Goddess training. Okay, your life's work, shadow of oppression, gift of transmutation, and city of transfiguration. I'm going to focus on the gift, on the shadow and the gift. So basically, I think that in your life, what you have felt mostly that holds you back from doing your work in the world is, project your problems. Exactly. That holds you back from doing your work in the world is this feeling of oppression. Like it, to me, and I'm going to do this intuitively. So what I'm feeling with this word oppression, and I don't remember exactly what he goes into in the book, but what I'm feeling with this word of oppression is like there's pressure, and you can't, and it's like it's weighing you down. And I feel like when you feel that way, when you feel the pressure that's weighing you down, you are not really able to like really truly be the gift that you are. And I also know that you're a projector, Valerie. So the moments where you feel oppressed are the moments where every shadow contains a gift, right? That's what Richard Rudd says. So when you feel that oppression, that feeling of like, things are happening to me, what's going on there? It's like you just have to change the mentality, right? To transmute, which is the gift, is to completely shift. And this talks about shifting your view, shifting your perspective of what's actually going on. And that's the truth about your transmuting your shadow into a gift is literally transmuting how you see what's going on. Because the truth is that we are never oppressed. And I'm talking about like modern life, right? Like I'm not talking about like when people were actually, we're talking in symbolic terms, right? So don't take this literal. But nothing, not really oppressed. Like discovering what our shadows are is just a matter of, and transmuting them into the gift is really a matter of perspective, acceptance first, perspective, and then realizing those moments where even you oppress yourself with your own belief systems and with your own stories. You are line 2, the dancer, which means that you need to allow yourself to flow through life, and you need to allow yourself to do what you're naturally good at. So if you're trying to do something that you're not naturally good at, you're going to feel like you're being oppressed because your natural flow is not able to flow. Being oppressed means it's pressure that doesn't allow you to do your natural thing. And that's the biggest thing about your life's work, is that you need to be focusing on the things that you're naturally good at, which as a projector, we know all that list of gifts that you are is teacher, guide, all that stuff to others. When they ask for it, when they invite you into their aura to really like, as a projector, to absorb, what is it called? Yeah. It's the projector aura is absorbing and penetrating. So when people, it's hilarious, but I actually love that visual that I get when like we see like the projector's aura is penetrating and absorbing. That's intense for people. That's why people, I've always felt like, okay, let me give you an example. This is so funny. When Dawn and I are together, we're both projectors, right? The other day we were at a restaurant and the waiter comes up, and when people are not like mentally, emotionally, like in a good space or balanced or whatever, and they come into like me and Dawn's aura, who are both like known guides, like this is what we do. This is our job, like this is what we actually make money. This is our profession, right? We're guides and spiritual teachers, and we're very well aware of all this stuff, right? And we know, like the waiter walked up to our table and we both like very quietly like just turned and looked at her, and like she could not get our order right. She was like talking a million miles an hour. She was like stuttering, like she was like tripping on her words. She was like, wait, can you say that again? Wait, okay, so you said no cheese? Yes, cheese? No, what? Like she was fucking overwhelmed. And then when when we were done taking the order, she walked away, and she was like, her face was red, and like she probably has no idea what the hell just happened. Wendy, we scare people. Yeah. She had no idea what just happened, and I feel bad because I know what's happening, but I can't stop it. Like it's a natural thing. And so it's like when we're both together, it becomes even crazier. We like throw people off, and that's what happens as projectors. So when we're too intense for people reject us. And so that's what I feel like the oppression has to do with in your life, is that you feel oppressed because people have rejected you because you didn't really understand what you were supposed to be doing, which is naturally flowing in your life and always changing and always transmuting. The gift of transmutation means it's never over. So everything in your life is a surrender to the change and to the shift and to the transmutation, right? And I can't remember exactly what it says about transfiguration, but that's the beyond it, right? That's why I just want to focus on the gifts and the city. Valerie, I love it. So that is like, that's the first thing. So your life's work is to flow, do what you're naturally good at, and stop letting others oppress you and oppressing yourself. Learn your true gifts and then just do that and go with the flow. And knowing the flow, it's going to be easier. You'll move from that energy of oppression to acceptance of change and natural shift in your life. All right. The biggest way of evolution for you, the biggest challenge, the thing that makes it the most, what's challenged you the most in life, is focusing on, well, first of all, this is the shadow of dishonor, the gift of graciousness, and the city of grace. This is a big gene key, and I know you know that. It's one of the 7 sacred seals, I think, and which I haven't even got a chance to even dive into that because it's so crazy. But the biggest challenge for you is, I think in your life, you have learned to dishonor yourself. You have conditioned yourself to dishonor yourself. This has to be self-work. It can't be, we can't put anything on anyone else. We know that, right? Especially with learning in the Moon Goddess training, the 7 laws of the universe, which said like basically as above, so below, as within, so without. You can't blame anything on anyone else. What you're experiencing in your life is just a reflection of what's going on within. So you have conditioned yourself to live in dishonor. And that's dishonoring your path. That's dishonoring your truth. That's dishonoring your natural gift. That's dishonoring your essence. All of that, right? You've conditioned. This is the biggest shadow for you. You conditioned to dishonor yourself. And when you realize that that's what's going on, you can completely step outside of that. And honor, and I think honor, and I don't remember exactly what Richard Rudd says about this, but honor to me is, you feel when you're honorable and you live in honor, it's like everything in your life you do with this sort of responsibility or this understanding with honor, right? Like the word honor, like I can't find a synonym for the word honor if somebody wants to throw one up on the screen, but you live from this place of grace. So graciousness is part of how you flow, right? Because this is still the line 2. It's part of how you flow. When you allow yourself to fully be in that flow and to fully be in your grace and in your graciousness and to fully be in that natural state, which is like a river. The two energy is like a river. It just goes, right? It just goes. The 2 is also the hermit. So you are a 2, 4. You're just like me, the hermit opportunist, which means that part of your profile, part of your description is you are very much a hermit. And you may not recognize the gifts within you. You may not recognize them. Other people see them as gifts, but to you, they're so natural that you're like, this is not really a gift. And that's how you dishonor yourself, is when you're like, I don't have any gifts, because that's anything but true. And you feel more comfortable just being in your flow. So you have to learn to honor that. And learn to honor the fact that you're more comfortable being a hermit, and that is completely okay. But every once in a while, you're going to get called out for your gifts. And when you get called out, you have to like show up with honor and grace and like show the world who you truly are. And that's the beauty that shines from you. And then when you allow this beauty to shine out, right, you have those breakthroughs, right? Then your radiance starts to really come through. And the radiance is, the Moon Goddess training has taught me how to honor myself. I love that. And the radiance for you is moving from the shadow of dominance to the gift of synergy, to the city of communion. And so dominance, it's like you try to be in control, right? It's like you try to be in control of things, or you let others control you. And the whole point is that, like, to realize that no one's controlling anyone. You know what I mean? Like, control is an illusion. In a way, to a certain extent, control is an illusion. Because the reason why I'm saying that is because I'm like, there's a contradiction there, right? Because we want to take our power back. But taking our power back doesn't mean that we are going to dominate our lives or dominate over others. Because if you're in that space of I am dominating others, then there's like this hierarchy that feels very unsynergistic. It's the opposite of synergy. It's like synergy, it flows, right? The same flow is a big deal in your life. Synergy just like feels, it emerges, it feels like one, right? But dominance doesn't. Dominance is like someone has power over someone else. These years has been a huge lesson in control in both directions. Yeah. So it's about letting go of the need to control, not allowing others to like control you, and then realizing that taking your power back doesn't mean it does in a way mean you take control of your life, but it means that you're not trying to be controlling over someone else, is that you're just using that energy and focusing on yourself. And then you step into synergy, and then communion is like, it's all one. We're all together. We're all working together. I'm not better than you. You're not better than me. But a lot of times I think your relationships may have felt like they have been uneven power-wise. The power dynamics in your relationships and in your friendships have felt like uneven. And until you take your power back and again surrender into the flow of synergy and then communion, that's when you really start to shine. That's when your true essence really starts to shine. You really start to understand who you are at a deeper level. And the line 4 is about friendship and networking. And you need to, right? You have to, because you're not going to be able to network and like grow your network and have more friends if you're coming from a place of dominance. Or if dominance plays a role in the dynamic of the relationship. It's when you're in synergy within yourself, in communion within yourself, with your essence, with your higher being, that you will make the right connections, because the opportunist is about waiting for the connections to show up, but they're not going to show up from a place of dominance. And that's the biggest shadow, is that you need to step into synergy and in more flow and feel your connection between others in a more harmonious way, in a more like equal, we're all in the same, we're all in the third dimension, kind of a thing. We're all in the same place, standing on the same ground, on the same planet in the third dimension. That is what will open up your shine, your light. And then people will come to you because they will feel that synergy and they will feel that openness to communion, and they will want to combine or merge with that energy. And then it's going to make you realize what is truly your purpose in life, which is very interesting. It's from moving from the shadow of pride to the gift of artfulness to the city of invisibility. So that's so interesting. So again, dominance and pride. Like, how have those things played a role in your life, whether coming from you or coming from the outside, seemingly coming from the outside, right? Yeah, dominance has been a big issue. Oh, in romantic relationships. Yes, there you go. So how is that? How have those shadows, think of how all the shadows have played a role in your life. Oppression, dishonor, dominance, and pride. How have those things affected your ability to truly be yourself? How have those things affected your ability to be in your purpose, to shine from within? And then how has transmutation, like surrendering to change in your life, being in your flow, knowing that you're the dancer, being in your graciousness, in your grace, being in synergy, and then how all of those things bring out the artfulness within you. All of this is so beautiful. And the line 4 is about breath and rhythm. Learning the natural rhythms of your life, and learning to focus on your breath. And when you feel like you're shallow breathing or not able to breathe or having breathing problems, this has to do with you're not fully in your purpose. Because remember that the purpose sphere has to do with our health and our body. And this is about the breath. So the breath will give you the clue. Remember, it's like talking about the systems of the body in astrology. Your breath will give you the clue. Are you living in your purpose or not? If it's shallow breathing, you're not in your purpose. So breathe deeply and see what comes through. And when you remember, the breath is the connection to the divine, is the connection to God. In the ancient Atlantean philosophy, the breath is our connection to the infinite. So it's our ability to be fully there and here, to be separate but all one at the same time. And it reminds us of the it reminds us of our connection to God. And when we can't breathe, we're closing that off. We feel disconnected from God. And in this case, you feel disconnected from your purpose. It's not coming through. It's being restricted or blocked. And so check in with, where is the pride, like peeking its little head through. What is it that you just can't let go? This is a lot of control issues. I'm just going to be straight up. All of the shadows are control issues. Trying to be in control of the universe. You can't be in control of the universe. All of them. Like, dude, when you're in your shadow, you're in completely dishonoring yourself in all of those shadows. So where has that pride kind of peeked its head through? And that's the things to face and work on. And when you let go of the need to feel important, because that's what pride is, I'm important and I matter. Like, you actually release to being more artful, to being more creative in a way. And then eventually see the opposite energy of pride to invisibility. They're like opposites. And that's the merging. That's the merging with the divine, is that when you're truly in your acidic frequency of your purpose, you are invisible. And that's in a beautiful and powerful way. And that brings you happiness, because you have let go of the need to control. You have let go of the need to dominate. You have let go of the need to feel important, and you have let go of dishonor. You have stopped dishonoring yourself, and you let go of all of those things, and your true purpose shines through, which is creativeness, artfulness, and then invisibility, which means like you're okay with being invisible. And there's something beautiful about that invisibility, is that it's everywhere. And it's like nothing can touch it, because it's like it's there, but it's not there. It's like it's serenity. Like when we feel, I need to read this Gene Key and what he says about invisibility, but what I'm getting from it, right? Like, I'm doing this intuitively, is that invisibility is like the smiling Buddha. It's the before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. That's invisibility. That's like, I'm not somebody that's going to be famous or whatever, or make money or whatever. I'm not important like that. But I am so much more, because my invisibility gives me happiness. Yeah. So, wow, that kind of went on on and on. But that's what I am. That's what I got for you, Valerie. All right. Yeah, I just go on and on and on, and I could just keep going on and on and on, but I should stop. But we kind of covered the whole thing. So, did anyone else get on the list? Okay, Dawn got on the list. So, Dawn, you are next. You're welcome. And I literally can't wait for those of you that are doing level 2 to go into the Venus sequence. Because I'm telling you, it's heavy AF, but there's nothing like it. Like, whoo, if you're ready for the deep dive, dude, the activation sequence just gets you ready for what's about to come, the realization that's about to come. So we are waiting for Dawn's question. And I think after Dawn, we will be done. So I think I'm going to close the list. Because I can already feel the energy's like, it reached its peak and now it's like on the downhill. I'm starting to pay attention. That was one of my shadows. Like because I have an undefined root. So I force myself to work really hard and do all of these things. And the truth is that that's not what I'm supposed to be doing. So now I'm starting to pay attention to the ups and the downs. And this means that, yes, the things that I do and how much time I spent on them and when I choose to stop and stuff, I have to really pay attention, and that there's going to be a shift if I'm going to magnetize more success into my life. I have to really pay attention and not overdo it, because that's the thing about projectors is they tend to overdo it when they should stop. So are you in the chat, Dawn? Hopefully she's here and listening. Or maybe she stepped out for a second. Or maybe she's typing. We are waiting for you, Dawn. It's an infinite well of knowledge that I feel like this year I have fully tapped into. And it feels amazing. It really does feel amazing. So true. I buy things with batteries that go dead to help with the shopping part, like vacuums. Oh, with the stopping part, like vacuums. That is funny. That is actually really funny. Jai, will you go over Moon Goddess Training 2 in general? Yeah, sure. So it starts July 9th, and it goes on for quite a few weeks, because even though the program itself is 9 weeks of content, and then the first week is just an orientation, not just, but it's the orientation. So it's a shorter session, and then the 9-week content starts the next week, and then because there's a lot going on in the summer, we're skipping a few weeks. So we're going all the way into October, which is cool because it's going to give us time in between to absorb, right? Absorb everything. But the way that I've actually designed it is that every week, what we're going to do is we're going to have, and I'll talk about this too in the orientation, we're going to have an Akashic journey. And the Akashic journeys for level 2 are going to be very different than the ones for level 1. I will say that, because everything is becoming more personal, because we're going to go into the Venus sequence, which is the map of our wounding, and understand the wounding of our life and all the points in our life where we were wounded. We are going to we're going to go into this very vulnerable space, and a space where like it's very natural to get defensive. Like this is what we're dealing with. It's like our patterns of getting defensive about our shit. So that needs more space. Like that needs more like nurturing space, right? So, but everything that we are focusing on, which is we're going to go into our human design profile. We're going to go into the Venus sequence and go through the whole thing and understand the whole thing from beginning to end. We're going to talk about astrology and different aspects of astrology. So yeah, she may have, and that's fine. We can do her reading next time. And different aspects of astrology relating to your chart. Like I want to talk about just looking at a birth chart and like what are the most important things. Looking at a progress chart, what are the most important things? Like synastry, composite charts, things like that help us to understand our relationships. Because a lot of the Venus sequence, basically the whole thing is about relationships and how relationships teach us to heal our karma. And so it's very like deep. And the Akashic, there's more, but I've got the notes over there. But the Akashic journeys are what I'm really excited about, because whereas level 1, we had Akashic journeys that were to the temples, to the ancient Atlantean temples, and we went through the ancient Atlantean initiatic path from the root to the crown, from the temple of Abu Simbel all the way up to the Giza pyramid and the Sphinx. And that was the school. It was like the ancient Atlantean school to learn all of the fundamental things that we need to know in order to understand what's really going on. Now, this is the part of our modern school, like modern mystery school, where we get to do the deep work of like, say, for example, the Temple of Kom Ombo. So there's all of it is kind of interweaved, but level 2 is going to feel very much like, okay, the deep dive into the Temple of Kom Ombo. I don't want to scare anybody, but it's a process that must be gone through in order for us to even be able to be good Akashic record readers or understand what a good Akashic record reader is able to do and how to approach readings and stuff like that. So understanding ourselves helps us understand our perspective and the framework to which we bring into the world. We're also going to do the Enneagram. So one of the required books is the Enneagram book. And we're going to be going into all of the different types to figure out which type we are. Because every time I tell people to read the Enneagram book, nobody does it. So it's required reading for level 2. But you recommend Moon Goddess Training 1 first. It's not recommended, it's required. So I did the Moon Goddess Training for years, and then it became what it is now, which is like a year-long program that has 3 levels, and there's a bunch of new content. And so level 1 is required for level 2. So level 1 meaning this year. If you didn't do the Moon Goddess Training this year, either in the January session or the April session, then you're not eligible to sign up for level 2. So you'll have to start again, because I'm telling you, it's like a whole new program. There's some of the things from that I used to do before, but it's like a whole new program. It's hard. I can't even describe it, but it's like, it's fucking epic. But yeah, you have to start with level 1, and the next one will be January. So then everybody that wants to like hop on and eventually like become the Akashic record reader, then you have to start with level 1. So the Akashic journeys of level 2 are actually deeper, personal. And the topics are like, we're going to learn like what is our relationship to the Akashic records. When you go into the Akashic records as a reader, because we're going to start having experiences as a reader, we're going to start doing Akashic record readings on ourselves. That's basically what's going on. So level 2 is like you do Akashic readings on you so that you have the experience of it, of how you're going to do readings on other people. But first you're going to do it on yourself. And that's the difference. It's like we're going into the chakras. We're going into the Akashic records and what does it look like for us? We're going into soul contracts. We're going into all kinds of stuff that we're going to do on ourselves first, so that when we get to level 3, we've already done these things to ourselves and done readings on ourselves. So now we can like venture out and to do readings for other people. Yeah, we fly off the planet, literally. Yeah, so that's how it works. So yeah, I'm actually super excited for those Akashic journeys. I mean, they're like just next level. Like we actually get to practice doing Akashic record readings on ourselves in level 2 and then share our experiences. So I can't fucking wait. All right, we're going to do Dawn's reading next time. I have no idea where she would disappear to. Probably did fall asleep. She's on the East Coast. So, all right, I'm going to be back tomorrow night to do the astrology of the new moon in Cancer. On Sunday night, we are going to do the ceremony for the new moon in Cancer. We're doing it early because I'm moving next week. So no broadcast next week. Like I'm not going to be live on anything. Maybe I'll post on Instagram. I doubt it. But next week, it's like everything is off while I'm transitioning my office to the new location and making sure the internet is working and all that good stuff. Yeah, I know. Level 2 is going to be epic. So, that's what's coming up for the next couple of days. And if you're in the Moon Goddess training, tomorrow is week 9, the last week. So tomorrow we're going into the temple of the Giza Pyramid, the Great Pyramid, and the Sphinx, and talk about all of that. So thank you all for being here tonight, and check out the new store, the new shop. There's a link below. A bunch of new things have been uploaded onto the shop, and I'm really excited about it. So I hope you guys have a beautiful weekend. I will see you tomorrow and on Sunday, and I'll be back. Dude, I'll be back after a whole week after this weekend. All right. Peace.